did have some issues with Common Core, and I will address those a little bit. I don't want to go into big details, but I'll just kind of give you the overview, the big picture, the 40,000 foot level. But one thing I want to read for you, I think some of you may have heard this already, but it was George Will on the Bret Baier Show. He was talking about Common Core, and he gave, I think, the best breakdown of Common Core that I've ever heard. What he said was, the advocates of Common Core say, if you like local control over your schools, you can keep it, period. If you like your local curriculum, you can keep it, period. And people don't believe them, and for very good reasons. This is a thin edge of an enormous wedge of federal power that will be wielding for the constant progressive purpose of concentrating power in Washington so that they can compose continental solutions to problems nationwide. The Common Core supporters say it's voluntary. It has been driven by the federal government's use of bribes and coercions in the form of waivers to No Child Left Behind and Race to the Top money to buy the compliance of these 45 states to which Indiana and I believe Oklahoma have already backed out, and they will not be the last. Watch the verb align in the argument. They're going to align the SAT to the ACT test with the curriculum. They're going to align the textbooks with the test. And sooner or later, you inevitably have a national curriculum that disregards the creativity of federalism. What are the chances that you will have 5 or 6 creative governors experimenting with different curricula, or have created constant permanent Washington bureaucracy overlooking education? We've had 50 years now of Elementary and Secondary Education Act, 50 years of federal involvement that is coinciding with stagnation in test scores across the country. I think that sums up very well why Germantown is looking to go in a different direction. We don't want to go in that direction, we want to move in our own direction. I think we've already been moving in our own direction, and we want to continue in that direction. You'll also find, and this is my own commentary, that Karen Lewis of the Chicago Teachers Union wrote a scathing letter to their Department of Education. The board, or the Teachers Union in Chicago, the second largest teachers union in the country, is completely against Common Core, as well as the New York Teachers Union, and the NEA now is signed on and is looking to get rid of Arnie Duncan, mainly because of Common Core issues. Once the assessments hit, and Ohio hasn't been there yet, and Wisconsin hasn't started yet either. Next year, the assessments, I believe you guys are PARC, We're Smarter Balanced, which are the 2 assessment consortiums that run the testing. Once those hit next year, I guarantee you the wave of opposition to Common Core is going to overwhelm the school districts. There are going to be people showing up in school districts en masse that will show up and complain about what's going on. That's what's happening in New York, that's what's happening in Illinois, and it's coming to a school district near you. You can count on it. Once the assessments hit and the parents actually realize what these assessments are about and what Common Core is all about, it's going to hit home and they're going to be speaking up. But that's what we're about. We're taking our local control back, we're going to do what's best for us, and we're going to try and find the best models to implement. The question we get a lot is, can you guys really do better? I want to read something from the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. Jerome Lestecki is the Archbishop in Milwaukee, and 4 of the 5 were opted out of Common Core. And I'm sure you'll hear one of our other speakers talk about this a little bit. But what he said to the parents who signed a letter, there was over 1,000 of them that sent a letter to him, wondering why the Milwaukee Archdiocese was not opting out of Common Core. He said, "Thank you for your recent letter and sharing with me the petition signed by parents within the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. I take your concerns very seriously. Catholic schools operate in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee under my direction, period. To think that I would allow anything to jeopardize Catholic identity or academic excellence in our schools is insulting at best. The standards of our Catholic schools far exceed the Common Core standards. Regarding your suggestive directive, Common Core standards are just one of the many ways we measure the success of our students. The standards are neither adapted nor adopted. In addition, the standards do not have any impact on curriculum or content whatsoever. The parents are already welcome to review any and all of our aspects of our school curriculum." Here's the good part. "But to think that parents are more qualified than our academic experts to select said curriculum is ridiculous. So I guess you can let people know I have satisfied all of these suggestions." There's a letter that goes back to Archbishop from these parents. I suggest that you find it and read it. It's pretty well done. But that's what they think at the high levels of the hierarchy of education, the Department of Public Instruction, the government Board of Education, Arnie Duncan, and you've heard what Arnie Duncan has said about parents. The parents are upset with Common Core because the suburban moms are finding out that the kids aren't as smart as they thought they were. That's what Arnie Duncan said when he heard about the complaints about Common Core. So the question is, can we really do better? Some people think we can, and I would argue that we can do pretty well. As a parent, as someone who's raised 4 boys, I have 2 that are left in high school, 2 that are in college. I think as a district, with the amount of talent that we have in our administration, if we've hired the right people, if we've hired the right staff, the right teachers, we ought to be able to do it on our own. We have a lot of years of education, a lot of years of teaching in our classrooms and across our district with over 400 staff members. I don't know how many years we end up having, but I guarantee you it's many, many decades of experience that we can tap into. And we also have the experts like Sandra Stotsky, Dr. Milgram, some of the people you're going to hear that have rejected Common Core as well. They're willing to help as well. We're bringing in experts. Sandra Stotsky came to our district and she came for just the cost of her transportation to get there. She didn't charge us anything extra to spend a day with us, and she came and met with our community and also described what we should be doing as a district. She had a letter that came out recently as well that describes for states that opt out of Common Core what they can do moving forward, and a lot of it has to do with teacher education and the standards that you're going to develop as a state if you start to go that route. So a lot of good information out there, and I would suggest that you take advantage of it.